I'm Bob Ryan. This is Globe 10.0. With me today is Kevin Paul Dupont. No question what is the most sordid and unpleasant sports story of the past 2 years. It is the Penn State story. All right, the issue now before us is this. If you had the power, would you make them stop playing football for at least a period of time?
Well, a knee-jerk reaction, I would say yes, but I can't be knee-jerk on this.
All right.
Too many people get harmed. There's been so many people harmed to this point. Sure, shut it down. But I ask you about, shut it down. What do you get? Do you get any guarantee that they come back? And I have to believe it would never get to the place it got to. But shut it down, come back a year, 2 years, 5 years. Is that the lesson that causes change?
Very valid question, and here's why I do not advocate them being forced to do anything.
Okay.
I think that they should have enough common sense to look at this thing and say, okay, what has happened here, and what do we need? Who are we, and why do we exist? I advocate them looking in the mirror and saying we should shut this thing down for at least 2 years. The reason being this: we have to show the world why we know this university even exists. Does it exist for 7 or 8 pleasurable Saturdays in the autumn each year, or does it exist for a purpose of higher education? And I think that they've lost sight of their mission. I think they lost sight of their values. I think everything is going to kaput, and I think they need a little 2 years of introspection. I agree with you. Collateral damage would be enormous, but nothing that couldn't be resolved. The players, if they wanted, could transfer, and they would be welcomed elsewhere. They would be just as happy playing somewhere else ultimately.
I can't disagree with the essence of what you're saying, but I would also make the case, Bob, you know, and again, we can't segregate the pedophilia and all the offenses here, but what you just said about college sports and college, we could make that case across the landscape, could we not?
You're so right, and that's why there's an example right here. Here's a blueprint. There are other places this could have happened. There's no other Joe Paterno situation, but there are places where the coach of the football or basketball team is the biggest guy on campus, is the most highly paid public employee in the state, and has the most clout of anybody, and would be able to manipulate events as we think Joe Pod did, and as Mr. Free thinks he did. Therefore, it could. Yes, you're right. But here's the blueprint. It's there for one and all to see. Look, I don't expect it to happen, and I don't want them to be forced to do it. They should be able to recognize this themselves.